Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
In Lloydminster now, there are no fire bans in place for the city so far. Even with recent rain, Assistant Fire Chief Christopher Hill is still urging caution with backyard fire pits and any burning in areas around the city.
Can change day by day, hour by hour. So just because it rained a little bit, sometimes the moisture can wick off the surface and end up in the storm drains, and then you get a little bit of wind because it's so dry out here. It doesn't take long for the relative humidity to really drop in the middle of the day, and we get some high winds. It can be just as dry, like even as before it rained. It'll be just dry again.
Hill says grass fires can quickly get out of control in the dry conditions.
Encountering in Fort Mac right now is it's actually burning through the old burn scar from 2016, but it's a very fast-moving ground grass fire. The wind is keeping it going.
Hill says the provincial government has not yet requested any assistance from Lloydminster in fighting the Fort McMurray fire.
We have not received any requests for provincial deployment, but we do that on a case-by-case basis as well. We do still have to serve the city of Lloydminster first.
Hill says another concern is cigarette butts being tossed from vehicles or being improperly disposed of at home.
Materials such as construction materials, furniture, and cardboard and that kind of stuff with garbage. So you're not supposed to burn any of that stuff. Class A wood is the only materials you're permitted to burn. And also you want to keep your fire attended at all times and have some water nearby to fully extinguish your fire.
The Métis Nation government in Saskatchewan has started the construction of new housing projects to help mitigate homelessness in Saskatchewan cities. We went down this morning to grab all the info.
The housing shortage, rise in cost of living, and lack of safe and affordable shelter leaves many Saskatchewan residents with little options. And the manager of Lloydminster Métis Housing, Sandra Brown, knows just how big of a problem this has been.
We need it. We have huge demand for affordable housing, huge demand in this city.
This project will involve 4 semi-detached, 2-bedroom affordable rental units for Métis senior families and another build only a couple hours away.
This is a busy year for us. We have a similar project, 2 duplexes in Meadow Lake for affordable Métis rentals. That one's geared more towards families.
The Indigenous Affordable Housing Complex here in Lloydminster is off of 47th Street and 47th Avenue and is set to have all occupants in by the end of November. Callum Hawker, Primetime Local News.
Farmers markets are a great way to meet new people, buy new things, and if you are a vendor, maybe even make some extra money. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we see how Holy Rosary students are gearing up for their own market.
The Holy Rosary Farmers Market is planned for its second year, having 26 vendors from the school sell an assortment of items to their fellow classmates and Lloyd residents.
We know that we have so many great things going on and we have so many talented students at our school, so it's nice to be able to showcase different skills that we have, different artists, musicians, things like that at our school, so they can showcase their talents as well as build a few entrepreneurial skills, learn how to, create a business, make some money on the side, get a little side hustle going.
Although Holy Rosary staff is involved, the market is a primarily student-led initiative, having the students not only sell their items, but organize the event as well.
We have to make sure that we have enough room and not a lot of vendors overlap what they're selling so that there's multiple items and multiple different selections.
Holy Rosary hopes to continue to hold the market annually as the event has sparked an interest in business for the students.
I joined this market because it seems like a school opportunity and I want to represent my school as an artist. I really find it cool that I'm younger and I'm starting, so to be able to show people that I'm in school and I can do more than school. I can do, my arts.
And that's all for this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students go beyond the classroom for immersive, hands-on learning experiences. It's about experiencing the real world.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
It's time now for another episode of Healthy, Thriving Family After Divorce. This week, Stacey Comer finds out what the best interests are for the children.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us this week for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankin Divorce Law and Mediation, offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks again, Stacey.
Well, Stephanie, today we're going to be talking about the best interests of children when it comes to divorce and separation. So can you give us a little bit more context of what we're going to get into discussion-wise today?
Sure. Best interest of the children is, of course, a term of art that goes around a lot in the separation and divorce world. But when we talk about best interest of the kids, of course, this is, or at least it ought to be, at the forefront of all conversations about divorce settlement as well as court resolved matters. But in the options, the process options that I offer to clients, which is collaborative divorce and mediation, it's at the forefront, of course, of all of our settlement discussions. So in these out-of-court options, parents can very much more easily prioritize their children's best interest and keep that at the forefront. So today we're going to talk about strategies for doing just that.
All right, well, let's start with that. So the first strategy, Stephanie, is maintaining open communication. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it's really important to encourage open and honest communication between parents to ensure that decisions are made with the children's well-being in mind. So keeping the lines of communication open, respectful, and child-focused. And of course, this open communication also applies between parents and children.
Okay, and number two is to focus on co-parenting, which is a lot of what we discuss, but tell me about the strategy in this case.
So we want to emphasize the importance of co-parenting and working together as a team to support the children. So really thinking about it like co-CEOs of a company and developing a co-parenting plan, which is something that we've talked about in lots of episodes, that parenting plan that outlines responsibilities, schedules, and decision-making processes that really will help you to, it's kind of like the rule book in a board game where you really want to set that out in advance so that you can make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible while you're co-parenting.
Okay, and the next one is to put children first, which I guess should be something that we do anyways, but let's chat a little bit further about that.
Yes, of course, we want to make a conscious effort to prioritize the children's needs and feelings about personal conflicts or grievances. There's a book that's out there and a saying that's out there that you want to love your children more than you hate the other party or more than you hate your ex. And really keeping their emotional and physical well-being at the forefront of decision making is so important. There's so much stuff that's going on in their world as things are coming up that, if we can really keep the children at the forefront, then it will really make a big difference
Okay,
to
and
them.
carrying on with that, Stephanie, supporting children's emotional needs is the next one, which you touched on a little bit, but let's expand a bit.
Yeah, so we need to acknowledge and address the emotional impacts of divorce on children. It is a huge change for them. And of course, they have no control over, or very little control over kind of how their future, short, medium, or long term future really plays out. And so it's so important to support them as they're going through their own stuff. I mean, the parents are going through, of course, their own issues on the spousal side, but the kids are also going through that. So providing them with reassurance, stability, and opportunity to express their feelings in a really safe and supportive environment is so important.
Okay, and the next one is maintaining consistency. Why is that a big deal?
So we want to strive to maintain consistency in things like routines, rules, and expectations for the kids, both during and after the divorce. Consistent parenting can, of course, provide stability and security during those times of transition. So we are talking about their worlds being upended, and we really want to create that stability for them. So, the catchphrases are stability, consistency, and routine, and that really is what paves the way to children feeling like they're on firm ground throughout these tumultuous times.
Okay, and strategy number 6, Stephanie, is to encourage healthy relationships. So let's chat about that.
Well, of course, that should go without saying, but let's say it anyway, right? Supporting and encouraging positive relationships between the children and each of the parents is so key. It sounds like it goes without saying, but this is the kind of thing that really is a pitfall in a lot of relationship breakdowns. We want to avoid speaking negatively about the other parent in front of the children, or even within earshot of the children. It's amazing what they can hear when you think they can't hear you, but they can. We want to really promote that healthy co-parenting dynamic.
Okay, and the next one, Stephanie, involve children in decision making. Why should we be doing that?
So that's a really difficult one because, of course, we want to make it age appropriate. So, depending on their age and maturity level, we want to involve children in age appropriate discussions that affect them. So, we want to give the children a voice, not a choice necessarily, is kind of the catchphrase. So, we want to listen to their input and consider their preferences when it's possible and when it's age appropriate.
Okay, Stephanie, well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate those tips today, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Thanks, Stacey.
That's all for news. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
The offseason continues for the Lloydminster Bobcats as they look forward to their annual charity golf tournament at Rolling Green Fairways. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Nigel Dubé, the general manager of the Lloydminster Bobcats, and he is here today to talk about the Bob Troop Memorial Golf Tournament. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Nigel.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Thomas.
And Nigel, the Bobcats have been running this tournament for a few years. Tell me a little bit about why the tournament is named after and in memorial for Bob Troop, and a little bit about him, as well as a little bit about the tournament as a whole.
Yeah, for us, it was a way for us to remember the legacy of Bob Troop and everything he did for our organization. Trooper was, a volunteer, a board member for 35 plus years, and for us, it was a way we wanted to make sure that that legacy lived on. And he also really enjoyed golfing. He did it every summer up at his lake, and it was a big part. I still remember the story of him buying a new driver right before he passed away. But he was such an energetic, happy person that cared so much about this organization, and we wanted that to live on in the community and in our organization. So we do this annually, and a great day. It's a fun golf tournament by all means. We have probably some of the highest scores and some of the lowest scores around, but our players are involved in it too as well. And it's a way for us to reflect to our players of who Trooper was, and also remembering him that way. So our players every year remember him.
And so this is a fundraising tournament for the Bobcats. What exactly is the money going towards, and how are you guys going to be raising the funds on the tournament day?
Yeah, it's a pretty laid back tournament. Obviously for us, it's just our daily operations of our organization, but we have the heckler hole, mini stick hole. We add one or two new ones every year we don't tell anybody about. So when you get to that hole, you get to figure it out. But our players are in town for the day too, as well as that's our summer camp, and it's just a ton of fun for us. It's all about smiling, having fun, enjoying the day. We've had rain one year, we had sunny one year, we had wind, rain, and sun one year. So just enjoying it, and again, a way for our players to interact with our fans and people that come out and enjoy the day of golf.
And finally, Nigel, if people are interested, where can they go to find out more information and possibly enter, and when is the tournament taking place?
Yeah, the tournament's June 14th, Friday, June 14th, and registration link is on our social media. quick click of a link there, and you can sign up a team or as an individual, or our website, or just give our office a call too as well, and be happy to get you signed up as individuals or a team. And if anybody wants to donate prizes too as well, we'll take prizes for sure. There's prizes throughout the day, and door prizes, those kind of things. So we're more than able to come to you and pick that up if need be. But check out our social media and our website, and look forward to get a few more teams signed up here.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Nigel, and hopefully you guys will have a nice sunny day for the Bob Troop Memorial Golf Tournament.
Looking at the 3-day forecast here in Lloydminster, we had some afternoon showers today, and it has cleared up, but going into tomorrow and Friday, it should rain again. A high of 13 and a low of 6 tomorrow on Thursday. Friday, a high of 9 and a low of 3, while Saturday, a little bit warmer, less rain. It shouldn't rain at all, actually, but it will still be cloudy, high of 13 and a low of 2. That's all the time we have from Primetime Local News. Have a great evening, everybody.